Welcome to the group video critique of my attendees' brilliant watercolor paintings from the Avebury Stones tutorial, hopefully inspired by my live demo. In this video, I'm going to be reviewing the paintings we all did together, or maybe afterwards, after watching my recording, where we tackled the scene of these magnificent old ancient stones at Avebury in Wiltshire, UK. For this landscape painting, there were a few key elements I was looking for you all to capture. Well, of course, we've got the striking composition, the arrangement of the large stones, which seemingly are in a sort of random order in these circles around the village of Avebury. But we want to try and get a composition. Don't be afraid to move the stones around just to help with the composition. Trying to convey depth as well. We've got some distant hills, distant trees in the background. So we want to try and get a sense of the distance and the depth there. And the overlapping of all these different shapes and sizes of trees and stones together. So capturing the texture and rugged nature of these old stones that have been there for thousands of years was an important aspect of the painting. And in terms of figures, we've got some ramblers going through the scene, as you often do there. A very popular walking destination. And I was eager to see how you depicted the people wandering amongst these stones and giving a sense of scale and the place. Of course, figures in a scene always does give some sense of some relationship to the size of buildings and so on. And then the addition of sheep in the middle ground would also lend another area of interest and lend a little bit of life and context to the landscape. And painting the grass as well. How are you at painting grass, mixing greens? So hello, I'm Tim Wilmot. As many of you know, I've had the privilege of leading live online watercolor workshops for a few years now, where I create and demonstrate a painting while you all follow along. Now, you don't need to paint in my style. It's really interesting to see everyone's take on the same scene and different techniques. And this workshop is open to painters of all levels, beginners and advanced are all welcome. In this video, I'll be offering constructive feedback on each of your paintings, and my critiques are based on my own view, my own perspective, and I'll be highlighting aspects I admire most about each piece. I'll also suggest maybe a small tweak or improvement just to help you refine your skills even further. Remember, we're all here to learn and grow together. Now, as we view the attendees' paintings, they're all taken by my attendees' different devices, cameras, phones, so on, lighting conditions. So just bear that in mind, that some of them might appear a little bit brighter, more vibrant than others. Now, if you do want to take part in future workshops, you'd be very welcome. Just pop over to the event site, which is crowdcast.io/@ Tim Wilmot, TIMWYLMOT. I'll be happy to see you on the next event. So as we go through, we'll see them one by one. First of all, I'll go through the source photo that we used for our inspiration. And I'll show you my meager effort as well before we dive into the attendees' paintings. My source photo is taken from almost the middle of the village, and that's where I think there's the largest stones. Now, it's a very popular area, maybe not as popular as Stonehenge, just down the road, but the nice thing here is you can get close and personal up to these beautiful stones, and you can see here, these stones have got a lovely character to them, massive size as well. I think this one here is one of the largest, probably about 40 tons in weight. A lot of it is underground. But you've got all this beautiful lichen and moss growing on them, and walkers. There's a sort of pathway around these different stones. Walkers rambling around the place. Sheep as well, roaming around just to add a little bit of extra interest to the scene. And then this grass. This photo was taken maybe late autumn, early winter, and we've got this sort of dead grass there, sort of thatch of dead grass. How would we depict that in watercolor? So a scene that will hopefully grab people's interest, and we'll see everyone's different take and different techniques to play. Let's go through and have a look at my painting first of all. And you can see I stuck fairly close to the source photo, maybe simplified the number of figures that we had in the scene. I was keen to capture this guy with the white hat that's sort of showing up against the darker tree. I moved the sheep around a little bit to help with the composition. I think, to be a bit critical of myself, that sheep there, I got the back of it just in line with the tree, the actual base of the stone there. So maybe that sheep should have been a little bit higher perhaps, just so I don't get them all in alignment. But fairly happy with the scene. The feeling of depth with the lighter values, the cooler distance, the distant hills in the background, and then the effect of the grass, little rigger brush, and using some thicker gouache paint towards the end just to get the feeling of that sort of dead late autumn grass. Well, that's mine then. Let's just go through Attendee Paintings one by one. First up then, Albertus. That looks like we've got a little bit of liner wash appearing here, which has turned out really well. I like the way that you've defined this pathway, Albertus, with the different sort of shades of green lighter in the pathway. Good bunch of figures. Just be careful of that little bit of light, maybe just a little bit too much of the white. So that white paint there, maybe just a little bit too much of the white paint around that right-hand side of the figure and over there. But it is needed on the stones, of course. That's what we did during the demo. Use a little bit of white paint, a few little dabs of white paint to depict the lichen. Very, very well done on the sheep as well and the trees. Nice moody sky. Fantastic. Well done, Albertus. And Anna. Nice composition. I like the slope of the land that you've got there. There is a little bit of a gentle slope from top right to bottom left as the land slopes away. Nice light tree there. Good bunch of figures, all connected. And the distant ones, a little bit lighter. That figure, the one that I was struck with and I thought would be a focal point, the white hat. Yeah, well done with that one. Stones are good. Maybe the sheep, this one here, is a little bit too round or rotund. Lovely grass though, fantastic. Very nice effect with the different textures. Well done, Anna, thank you. And Anika. Well, Nika's gone for more of a horizontal, compared to Anna, horizontal view here, and lovely stones, bit of lichen at the top, they're nice composition. With the trees, I think they could be just a little bit more dense, shall I say, in the middle and towards the bottom of those trees. So a little bit less of the light showing through there. Hat of this guy might be just a little bit too big, but very nice figures, sense of movement. The grass colour, very nice. I like the way that we've got lighter and darker areas in that grass. We had to sort of keep playing with that grass to try and, it's such a large area of the scene, maybe 2/3 of the actual composition. So we've got to make it interesting with different values and textures. Well done, Anika. And Barb. I know Barb does a sketchbook version during the demo. A lot of people do paint along with me during the demo, quite often in a sort of sketchbook format while they're watching, listening to me, and then they do their own with the recording. Play back the recording as many times as you want to. Anyway, this is fantastic. I love the sky. I like the way that we've got a little bit of light right at the top there on the border of the painting. Great animation in those figures. I like this one here, bit of a cocked leg, just as you would do if you're watching someone, a rambler from behind, with their legs in movement. Fantastic. Sheep are good and lovely stones, especially this one here, the main centerpiece. Yeah, with that, with little sort of dry brush marks there, just to depict those little cracks and the texture on the surface of that boulder. Grass is good as well. Yeah, fantastic. Well done, Barb. And Buck. Yeah, Buck's gone for a brighter day. I love this stone here and the sort of pot mark of these little white areas and a little bit of some of the lichen there on the top edge of the stone. Different colours of stone, blues and warms and ochres. Great figures. That figure there, the leading figure with the white hat, looks as if he's looking down, connecting the figures as well. Different clothing. Those figures are fantastic. Well done, Buck. Really good. Sheep, we got 4 sheep here. And also, the sheep aren't just white, of course. They're out in the wild. They get weathered. It's not pure white. Do like your sheep. Really good. Grazing away there. Sense of movement again. Fantastic grass. Yeah, beautiful grass. Just in that area there. Really nice. Yeah, but excellent figures and that stone. Well done, Buck. Ching. Yeah, good composition. Lovely stones. Beautiful sky. The trees, perhaps there could be a little bit less of that light line, that light area there. Good figures, excellent figures. Sheep are, yeah, they're good, they're all right. I think maybe their legs might be just a tiny bit too long. Some of them, maybe this one here, by a few millimeters or a millimeter or so, just could be just a little bit shorter. Do like the grass though, and especially the darker grass, the lighter grass, lots of different shades of green and values of green in there. I like that stone there on the left as well. The way it's sort of slightly leaning and got a bit of character about it. Well done, Ching. Christy. This again is a little bit sort of line and wash. Great bunch of figures. You've got that, if I just zoom back out, we've got this sort of trail, this sort of curvature of the figures going around to the right and the more distant ones there over to the right. Very, very good figures. Brilliant. Lovely sheep. Excellent. Particularly like these two here. Nice placement of those sheep, especially that one. Light against the darker background. Beautiful work on the stones. Got all those little cracks and fissures in the rock. Nice grass. Sort of lighter, cooler grass there. Excellent. Well done, Christy. And Colin W. This might be a little bit, I think the photo might be a little bit dark. I'm sure Colin's is a lot brighter than this. Nice composition. Good job with the figures. I would say with the figures, maybe try not to have them all in line like this. A bit like, so they maybe connect just a little bit too much. So have a few of them smaller, others larger, as they're sort of as they're in a group walking away from us. Good job with the sheep. Very nice sheep indeed. Maybe the legs on that one might be just a little bit too long. Lovely stonework. And I love this effect with watercolor, where we get this sort of blooms appearing in these different edges as well. Look at that lovely edge there, where the paint has dried and that pigment sort of gradually settles around the edge and you get that lovely sort of hard edge there. I think it's quite nice. Nice sky as well. Well done, Colin. Oh, sorry, that was Colin W. Colin number 1. Colin number 2. Yeah, I like the green of that grass. It's striking. Beautiful, vibrant green that you've got there. Good composition. Good work with the stones. With the figures, the tops, it's a little bit like when I explained with the top of one of my sheep was in line with the bottom of the stone. And I think we got the same effect here. It just doesn't, to me, it's just my own personal opinion, that the tops of those heads there, just in line with the horizon. Maybe move one, adjust them, have the horizon lower or the horizon just slightly higher, just so they're not all in line. But good figures though, and our guy there with the white hat showing up against the darker tree. Do like that grass though. Good work with the sheep as well. Maybe that distant one might be a little bit too large. That sheep there needs to be perhaps somewhere in line with that one there, needs to be brought back to about that position there. But good idea having another sheep, having a fourth sheep facing the other way. And also a good thing about this one is Colin's had it facing into the composition. Always a good idea. With the photo and my painting, we had them all pointing away. Maybe it might be a good idea to have those sheep 180 degrees, turn them around and have them sort of grazing in towards the scene. Yeah, nice, bright, sunny day in that one. Lovely grass, though. I do like it. Corin. Good composition, lovely sky. Corin's gone for more of a sort of paler look, which is more sort of, I guess, how we might have autumn, late autumn, early winter in the UK, sort of duller sky, not so bright. So a nice composition, good bunch of figures as well. Our guy there showing up, sense of movement. Sheep are good. Maybe this one here, the legs look a little bit awkward. But those sheep are fantastic. The other two sheep are fantastic. Nice grass. Everyone's done so well with the grass so far. I like that. Of course, this would be cropped here on that right-hand side. We wouldn't see all this edge. That would be cropped sort of that right-hand centimetre there. Yeah, thanks, Corinne. And Dave. Oh, lovely bunch of sheep. Yep, very nice indeed. Perhaps some of the sheep, Dave, could be a little bit larger, coming towards us just a tiny, tiny bit, and maybe a little bit higher as well in the scene as well. These 2-3 sheep there, a little bit larger, a little bit higher in the scene. The figures are very good, but I would avoid this sort of these lighter edges to them. So we're going over the whole scene with the grass, and the figures having darker clothing. We don't need to worry about painting around them so much. We're painting around the stones. I think that's the way most of us did it, paint around the stones, but don't need to paint around some of these figures with the darker clothing. Those birds are brilliant. 5 birds there. Yeah, all different. Just as you would do there in the scene. Maybe more pigeons, crows, that sort of thing. The trees, that tree again got a little bit of lighter base to it. I would try and make that a little bit, what to do there, try and make it a little bit darker. But again, try and make the tree in the middle a little bit denser, less sky peeking through. Fantastic. Well done, Dave. And Eileen, let's just zoom into this one. I like your sky, Eileen. Very nice. All the soft edges, warms and cools in there. Very atmospheric. Great stones as well. Good figures. This nearby figure, I think the legs look a little bit clumsy, but the other figures are brilliant. Sense of movement. Sheep are very good as well. Perhaps the body of this sheep here could be a little bit bigger and the neck a little bit smaller. But the other 2 sheep, fantastic. And the effect that you've got in the sky, you kind of replicated that with the grass. I think that grass is super. You know, the way that you've got those different greens, again, different edges, got warm greens, cool greens. You haven't, like me, you haven't done the little strips of dead grass like I did it, but I think yours has turned out really well. It's very effective the way that you've done. You've probably got more of a dry brush stroke with your grass blades there. Very nice sky. Well done, Eileen. And Fauzia. And again, a little bit more of a tiny bit like a liner wash. Those stones are really nice. Good sheep. I particularly like that sheep there closest to us. They're nicely arranged. So that sheep good. Maybe that sheep there, not so sure about that one. Figures are very good. Just be careful of overworking some of the figures with these little dabs of white paint or gouache. But you do get a sense of figures there moving along and eventually disappearing around the back of the larger stone. Nice effect with the grass as well, in your style. And looks like a little bit of maybe lifting out there. And we've got a bit of darker edge to those strokes. Nice range of greens as well. Well done, Fauzia. Thank you. And Isabel. I like this main stone here. It's very dominant in the scene. Nice composition, good figures. We've got to the right of main figure, we've got this one walking around the stone. Very nice, good figures. Connected that left arm there, connecting to the leg, the right leg. Very, very good figures. They are brilliant. Nice grass, good sheep as well. Just to zoom into the sheep. Lovely sheep. Nice grouping there of those three. Yeah, I particularly like that stone. Very nice indeed. Well done, Isabel. And the trees, actually. Should point out that tree there in the top right corner. Very realistic. These sort of, I think they're oak trees around Avebury. And that certainly does look like an old oak tree to me. And then nice greenery on the distant trees. Yeah, very good trees. And well done with the grass. Thanks, Isabel. Jetta. Nice moody sky. Good bunch of figures. Nice composition as well. Good balance of composition. Like me, I think just the placement of that sheep there, right on the corner of the sheep, right up against the corner of that large stone. Maybe if the sheep was just moved a little bit, but the sheep are beautifully painted. Nice grass as well, good colour in that grass. I like it looks like a little bit of lifting out there, just to get a bit of lightness and soft edge around that area. Good idea. Fantastic sky though. Yeah, really nice. Well done, Jetta. And if we just zoom into Kazim's now. I think it's Kazim. I spelt it wrong. Top left corner. Sorry, Kazim. Anyway, Kazim. Very good figures. I like the introduction of a few walking sticks for these ramblers, just as you would do. That figure there, looking down, the angle of that leg, look there, and that straight left leg, very nice posture of that walker. Stones are brilliant, very, very nice indeed, very realistic. You can almost touch that stonework. Sheep are very good. Oh, there's one looking at us. Nice touch. And also, nicely lit against, nice bit of contrast, that light head. The head might be a little bit too small, but I do like, well done for having a go at the sheep just turning around looking at us. Nice sky as well, lovely grass. Well done, Kazim. And Lillian. Nice composition. Great figures. I like those figures. Sense of movement, soft edge around the figures as well. Our leading red figure, that turned out really well. Yeah, great figures. The texture on the grass, excellent. Sheep are very good. Maybe this one here might be a little bit too bright? But the other two sheep, particularly this one here, Lillian, that's really nice. Good touch with adding in a few little lighter blades of grass nestling up against the base of that rock. Let's have a look at this rock here. Yep, warms and cools, fantastic. I like the way you've done your trees as well. Nice sky. Well done, Lillian. I'm sure that yellow will be the border. It's not meant to be part of the picture. Right, Liliana. Right, I think maybe the photo might be a little bit dark in the bottom of the picture. So just be aware of that, everyone. That sky is super. I do like it. Just zoom into that sky. The way that you've done the clouds, they're sort of like those fair weather clouds, but the effect that you've got, if I just zoom in there, there's a few little sort of whiter areas going to that dark area. Nice. A nice boulder there, the main boulder. Sheep maybe need to be connected with the ground a little bit more. Well, mainly this one here, this middle sheep. Perhaps if there's a bit more of a shadow, slightly shorter legs as well. Figures are very good indeed. Let's zoom in there. We've got our red figure with the light hat against the darker tree, and very nice grass. Yeah, blades of grass, different shades of green, dry brush marks as well. Always helps with grasses. Dry. Can I spot a good dry brush mark? That one there, for example, the curvature. Nice, expressive brush marks. Well done, Liliana. And Louise. Nicely presented with the frame. I like it. Good composition. Figures are excellent. Maybe this guy here, the head might be just a little bit too large, but I like the way it's got a sort of ghost-like image on it or around it. Does suggest a bit of movement. I like that style. And these figures here, light, they're not too dark, and we've got some subtle variations of cools and warms in there. Excellent. Sense of depth with the distance, soft edge on the horizon. Beautiful. And the grass. Yeah, you haven't gone for those little tiny tufts of grass. You've gone for more larger clumps of grass and warms in there as well, like that one there. Nice bit of darkness against the lighter background. Your grass turned out really well. Yeah, thanks, Louise. A nice frame around the scene. And Mark D. Good composition. I think the figures are, I think that tree, either the figures or the tree, they're similar value. So it might be a little bit difficult to pick out those figures exactly. So one of them needs to be lighter than the other. Maybe I would make the tree a little bit lighter and the figures darker just to compensate between the two. The sheep are good, perhaps a little bit too large, those two there. And just be careful a bit of overworking of the tree there. All right, some of those scraping marks, just a little bit over. And also, Mark, I would say the curvature of that rot there, we're sort of mimicking the curvature of that branch as well. So I would have some of these trunks and these tree trunks and branches coming out at an angle from the stone. I like the soft edge though, very effective. And we've certainly got a feeling of the curvature of that stone as well. Cold, grey stone. Grass is very nice. With perspective, try and get the path going a little bit wider as we come to that bottom right corner. Well done, Mark. Thanks very much indeed. Mike. So we're kind of zoomed into the scene with this one. We've got larger figures, larger stone. We haven't bothered with that sort of sense of depth, of the sense of the panoramic view, left and right. We zoomed into the scene, which works equally well. Nice connection of those figures. Good lead figure. Our guy there, red top, white hat, turned out really well. The sheep are excellent. Maybe this one here might, not as good as those two. I do like that sheep there. It's perfect. That is a perfect sheep. all right, but that one there, it maybe the body is a little bit too long between the distance between the legs. Nice grass, certainly got the feeling of the track there, the trail leading us around. Nice sky as well. Yeah, what a Mike, thank you. Nydia. What a nice bright scene. Very bright. Good figures. Like somebody else, I would just avoid having the figures. We've got these 4 people here almost synchronized and in line. I would just try and make them a bit more random, but they're good figures. Nice work with the boulders, the stones, particularly our main one there. The sheep are very good indeed. I do like this one. Yeah, the sheep have got this sort of roundish face, haven't they? That one's very realistic. That closest one. Nice work with the grass, dry, very good, expressive, dry, darker, dry brush marks coming in from that bottom right corner. Nice one, Nydia, thank you. Roger. My eyes are going straight away to this figure, closer to us. Looks like this person has got their hood up and they're a little bit sad, perhaps, trailing at the back, thinking, oh, how many more miles have I got to walk? With other figures, they do look as if they're looking down at the ground, which is exactly what you would do, especially our lead red figure there, or our main figure there on the right-hand side. Nice work with the boulders, stones. Let's zoom into this one. Yeah, nice work with that one. Different techniques and brush marks, lovely trees. Got that. Just the right sort of sense of sky peeking through the outside of the canopy. Nice bit of light hitting that rock there. Sheep on the whole are good. Not so sure about that one. Perhaps the body is just a little bit too round on that one. Nice grass. Sense of these lines coming down the scene. Well done, Roger. And Sally. Let's zoom into this one. Sally, a little bit more. Can I zoom in a bit more? Oh, yes. I like that sky. Very effective. Nice boulders as well. Got a feeling of this has a feeling of a colder day with the atmospheric conditions, that sky, the value, the green, the shade of green that you've chosen for the grass. A little bit lighter, a little bit cooler. Good bunch of figures. Let's zoom in there. Of course, as I zoom in, I go a little bit out of focus, but it's a little bit of a small image. Sheep, I think they look all right. Maybe some of the legs are a little bit too thin, but they're good placement of the sheep. Again, watch out. This one here, corner of the sheep, corner of the stone. Move them around a little bit more. One on Sally. Sandra, zoom in. Yeah, nice composition. I think you've gone for more of a panoramic view. I like the way that the landscape, it's sort of fanned out there in that middle area, bit of a fan shape, and the lighter boulder. Good grouping of the figures, our lead figure as well, sense of movement. Sheep are very good indeed. Nice placement of those. Ooh, like the idea of the shadow on the corner of that boulder. Good idea. Light coming from the right. Nice grass as well. Looks like you've done a little bit of splattering, which works well on grass, but certainly got the different textures in there. Very nice green, very nice grass. Well done. And Sarrow. Nice bright scene. Like it. Very bold and bright. Good range of contrast. Look at that boulder there. Lovely. And the shade, a nice cool green for the distance. The figures are excellent as well. Nice connection to those figures. The lead figure there. Yeah, looks good with white hat. Showing up against the darker tree. The sheep are good. Well done with the sheep. Perhaps that one, that distant one might be, that distant one is bigger than the closer one. So maybe if they were swapped around, I think that would work better. And then, like somebody else says, we've got a sheep there turning around and looking at us, thinking, just asking yourself, what are you looking at? Yeah, good bunch of sheep there. Like me, you've got that, the back of the top of the sheep in line with the bottom of the stone. My mistake, I mean, might have led you astray. Nice grass, but you certainly got that feeling of a bright day, and I do like that sky. Let's zoom into that sky. The way that you've got these soft edges around the clouds, the bit of bluer sky up above, lighter down towards the horizon. Well done, Saro. Sylvia. Oh, I like the, I guess this is a yellow, this yellow body paint, the gouache. Very effective. And then the darker sort of mixture of the yellows and the darks. Excellent. Maybe with that technique, go a little bit thinner with some of these blades. Certainly thicker, closer to us, but perhaps further away in that middle ground, a little bit thinner. Like the figures, zoom into those figures. Like the figures, you've gone for a yellowish hat for our lead walker. Stones are excellent. I like the lichen, the yellow tops them. Sheep, yeah, they're good. Those two on the left are good. Not so sure about our sheep on the right there. But saying those two, they look very nice indeed. Lovely grass. Yeah, quite striking. Well done, Sylvia. Tim C. Yes, we've got a flatter, we've got a more horizontal landscape. You've got the feeling of depth, I think, with the lines of these lighter blades of grass, and then in the middle distance, that sort of almost dotted line of drier grass or lighter grass. And then in the distance, we've got those hills, trees, hedgerows, and so on. Good figures, sense of movement, as you might do. That's a technique that some of us use by not painting maybe the bottom portion of a leg, just to indicate some sense of movement there of that trailing leg or a leading leg going forwards. Good stonework, good work with the stones, lovely sky. Sheep are good. We've got more of a character to the faces of these sheep with the darker faces and that one turning around, and also a feeling of, as it was in the source photo, some more distant sheep showing up against the darker distant trees. Thanks, Tim. And Tony. Yeah, nice. Again, more of a panoramic view and nicely placed figures. And a figure there moving over to the right. These two here, looks like the guy in red might be giving some, or talking to this lady on the left maybe, leaning forward. Nice figures there. Perhaps with the shadow could be a little bit harder with the edge of those shadows, Tony, I reckon. Nice grass. Sheep. Yeah, sheep look all right. Nice placement of them. Not so sure about this one. Maybe it needs a bit more definition to the belly and a little bit more shadow underneath that sheep there, just to define it a bit more. Like the stonework and that sort of top right corner of that stone showing up well, lit up against that tree. Just be careful not to overwork those background trees a little bit too much. Nice grass as well. Perhaps we could have more of a feeling of a pathway here for these walkers as well, just as a suggestion. Thanks, Tony. Victor. Yeah, nice sweeping path. You've defined that walkway really well, leads us into the scene nicely. Great figures, a little bit of lean to that one as well, helps with that sense of movement. So they're not too static, but there's some movement in there. Stonework very good, I would, just avoid a little bit of a light edge on the side of the stones where we've got the shade. Maybe just try and connect the background a little bit more to them rather than having a little bit of like that lighter area there, and over on this one, that little light area there. Just try and connect them a little bit more. Certainly the light on the right-hand side. You know, we've got that light coming towards us. We've got 3 sheep there. That sheep on the left, very good. Not so sure about the other 2, but that one there on the left, very nice. Perhaps this shadow might be just a tiny little bit too dark, just a tiny bit. But I do like the effect that you've got on the grass. Mixture of edges, hard edge, and softer edge, just on that right-hand side. And also these marks, they're becoming thinner and lighter and smaller as we're going to the distance. Again, we've got that feeling of depth. Well done. And Vincenti, I think, is the last one. Yep, not the normal Vincenti style. Vincenti's own technique. I like it. That's a good idea with that figure. Connecting, just on the left-hand side of the stone here, connecting the shadow of that stone to that vertical left-hand edge. Good works with the figures. Maybe this red guy, he might be a little bit too tall compared to the others. But I do like your figures. The sheep are very good as well. A little bit of a yellowish tinge to them, as you would do, them being out in the wild, so to speak. Yeah, very good sheep. And you've gone for a bit of a different technique with the grass. I do like it though. Nice style. Certainly got you've got the brightness there, but you've got the feeling still of a cooler day, a cooler UK day that time of year. The grass, you know, with the cooler blues and a little bit of yellow in there and a bit of stubble with some of the grass on the left. But I do like that. I do like that figure there. Excellent. Well, while we're on Vincenti's painting, thanks very much to all of those that took part. Thank you. It was lovely seeing you on the live event. Go to my event website for details of the up-and-coming event. And indeed, you can take part. You can still, if you want to have a go at a previous event on the event website, you will see all of the previous events, and you can have a go at any of those, anyone, and submit a photo to me of your painting to get a short video critique from me, all in the price of that video. And you can play back the recording many times you want to. Well, hopefully catch up with you, all being well, on the next event, and which will be a totally different scene to this one. We do like cycling around our different topics and subjects, landscapes, seascapes, street scenes. Invariably, they've got figures as well. We like doing advanced topics as well. Nothing, I mean, this one's fairly easy, but the next one coming up is a little bit more challenging. Anyway, if you dare to take part, go up to the event site, crowdcast.io/@TimWatt. Love to see you. Thanks for taking the time to watch through all these paintings. Drop into comments any of those that you particularly like, and give us a bit of encouragement as well. Always great to hear of everyone's comments. Pop those in. I will respond to them. Thanks for watching. Catch up with you on the next video, which is like to be a return to my normal tutorial demo videos. Thanks very much. Catch up with you soon.